Because it's experimental, that tail wheel, the tire, and tube is $14 on Amazon. You get a pack of 2.
We teach takeoffs and landings with a landing doctor towel covering the entire instrument panel.
2026 isn't just another year in aviation. It could be a turning point. Welcome into the Future in Flight podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Staerker, coming to you from a hangar somewhere near the flight line, where the sparkling cider is nicely chilled and the noisemakers are generously scattered about. That can only mean one thing. It's New Year's. And what a better way to kick off 2026 than by looking at what the year has in store for aviation. Spoiler alert, it's going to be incredible. Today, we're taking a comprehensive look at the year ahead. We'll explore how airlines are navigating some tricky economic turbulence while airports are embracing biometric technology and human-centered design. We're breaking down the game-changing MOSAIC rule and what it means for aspiring pilots. Because if you've been thinking about learning to fly, the barriers just got a whole lot lower. We're also diving into how flight training is evolving with VR, AI, and flexible modular programs that can have you in the cockpit professionally in as little as 12 months. Plus, we'll check out the incredible Silverlight Aviation Recon, an aircraft you can literally fold up and take home in a trailer. And finally, we're visiting with the landing doctor himself, Lou Mancuso, who's going to teach us why covering up your instruments might be the secret to perfect landings. So buckle up. 2026 is shaping up to be a pivotal year in aviation, and you could be involved in the flight plan. Let's go full throttle. Now, we're taking off into the future, but not too far. We're talking about what aviation might look like for the upcoming year. So buckle in. We've got innovation, risk, and big picture change ahead. First up, the airlines themselves. According to recent industry coverage, 2026 is shaping up to be a tricky year. Some analysts say carriers are flying into trouble. One article notes that while premium demand, that's business class and first class, still holds up, other pressures like cost, fuel, safety, and staffing are mounting. On one hand, the skies are open. On the other hand, the runway ahead has clear turbulence. So what does this mean for someone watching from the ground or dreaming of being in the cockpit for a career? Well, the moment feels like a crossroads. Airlines have to be smart, lean, and forward-thinking, or they risk getting left behind.
For those of you traveling with small children under the age of 5, we do offer family boarding that takes place after the age.
But it's not just the airlines that are changing. Airports are too, in a big way. According to the latest Global Traveler Survey by Airports Council International, about 72% of people said they're willing to use biometric solutions, like facial recognition, for check-in. That's up from earlier years. What this tells me, travelers want seamless, tech-enabled journeys, but with a human touch. In fact, empathy is becoming a real currency. Only around 44% of respondents said airport staff show that kind of understanding, and about 48% believe staff are proactive enough. So the airports that combine technology with genuine human interaction, plus a sense of place, are going to lead. Think local cuisine, personalized retail, quiet lounges, wellness spaces, places that don't just move people through, but make them feel seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes we're going to land in Zurich.
Now, if you're someone dreaming of becoming a pilot, here's where it gets really exciting. Flight training in 2026 is expected to look very different than what it looked like a decade ago. According to the folks at Flight Training Academies, 3 big shifts are coming. Global pilot demand remains strong. Airline growth, retirements, and the newer aircraft types all mean more opportunities. Number 2, technology is deeply integrated. Flight schools are using simulators with VR, AR, AI-powered progress tracking, digital flight logs, and more. Training is more immersive and personalized than ever before. Number 3, flexible modular training programs. For many students, completing training in as little as 12 months can be possible, either through accelerated or modular paths. If you're thinking about a career in aviation, that could mean a faster, more modern ride to your first job. All right, let's talk general aviation and a new initiative that might actually open a few doors. The FAA's newly finalized MOSAIC rule, again, that stands for Modernization of Special Airworthiness Certification, is a big shift for the light sports side of aviation. Here's what you need to know. Quick, digestible, and I'll try to make it as fun as possible. Under the old light sport aircraft rules, there were strict weight limits and only 2-seat airplanes. MOSAIC removes that weight cap for new designs and allows up to 4 seats for airplanes under the light sport category. The maximum stall speed and top speed limits are revised. For example, maximum stall speed of around 61 knots for airplanes under the new design standard. Sport pilot certificate holders will see expanded privileges. Night flying with endorsements and basic med or a third-class medical and flying more capable aircraft with proper training. The new rule also allows retractable landing gear, variable pitch propellers, and more advanced systems in light sport aircraft with the appropriate endorsements and training. What this means for you. If you're thinking, I might learn to fly one day, MOSAIC is lowering some barriers. Cheaper aircraft, more capable trainers, and more flexibility in training pathways. Now, a couple of caveats. Sport pilots still face restrictions. And even if a plane qualifies as a light sport aircraft under the new rule, that doesn't automatically mean a sport pilot can fly it. The details matter: endorsements, stall speed numbers, and aircraft certification. So if you're dreaming of flight, MOSAIC is definitely one of your allies. Get curious now and watch how your local flight school implements it. Behind every smooth flight is an army of maintenance professionals. And in 2026, their tools are leveling up. Instead of paper checklists, maintenance teams are using digital platforms and even digital replicas of aircraft to simulate scenarios, foresee needed repairs, and plan more efficiently. There's also predictive maintenance through AI, using aircraft data to forecast which parts might fail and when, reducing downtime, and AI-driven inventory management, where parts in stock are optimized so delays don't ground airplanes. This is huge, not just for safety, but for cost savings and sustainability. Fewer grounded planes plus less waste equals a smarter sky. Zooming out, there's a broader economic and supply chain story unfolding as well. Forecasts show production will ramp up more slowly in 2026 for many aircraft types because supply chain bottlenecks, materials, and labor are still real. There's uncertainty, but companies that invest in technology, build resilience, and plan for long-term risk will win. So what this means for you: if you love aviation tech, drone operations, eVTOLs, mixed mission aircraft, the future is still bright, but you'll want to keep your eyes open for how economics and supply chain realities play out. So what's the takeaway for all you listening, especially if you're part of the 14 to 24 crowd? If you're curious about becoming a pilot, this is a moment of real chance. Training's evolving. MOSAIC and those industry shifts could open doors. If you lean towards engineering or tech, maintenance and aircraft production aren't what they used to be. They're digital, data-rich, and fun. If you just love flying or traveling, airports are going to feel more futuristic and more human. Airlines will be under more pressure, but that often means innovation. And no matter what you do, this moment in aviation is not static. It's a pivot. You can be part of it. In short, 2026 isn't just another year in aviation. It could be a turning point where innovation, empathy, and smart economics converge. Thanks for flying with me on this mind trip through 2026. Up next, we'll check out an incredibly fun new aircraft, the Recon from Silverlight Aviation. Let's take a quick break and talk about one of our great show partners. This episode of the Future in Flight podcast is brought to you by Aviation Magazine, the official youth aviation publication inspiring the next generation of aviation professionals. From student pilots to A&P mechanics, airport managers to aerospace engineers, Aviation highlights the incredible journeys of those shaping aviation's future. Through their Rising Star program and the American Dream Tour, Aviation connects students with industry leaders, bringing real stories and career pathways directly to high schools and organizations across America. Ready to discover your place in aviation? Visit avnationusa.com to learn more. Put yourself in this scenario for a minute. You're at a smaller airport, maybe one without a lot of hangar space available. You pull up with your car, uncover a trailer, and in about 15 minutes, by yourself, you've got a fully capable aircraft ready to fly. Sound impossible? Well, stick around because the Silverlight Aviation Recon is making that dream a reality. I recently caught up with Craig from Silverlight Aviation at the Affordable Flying Expo to check out the Recon. And folks, this aircraft is turning heads for all the right reasons. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of aviation, versatile, practical, and ready for just about any mission you throw at it. So what exactly is the Recon? At its core, it's a kit-built experimental aircraft with roots tracing back to Dean Wilson's avid flyer concept. But Silverlight Aviation has taken that proven platform and supercharged it, literally and figuratively. The result is an airplane that's almost 1.5 feet longer than its predecessors, with better lift characteristics, more power options, and a cabin that's actually comfortable for real-world flying. Here's Craig explaining what makes this aircraft so special.
This is the Silverlight Aviation Recon. It's a fantastic kit-built experimental airplane. When you buy this kit, it comes covered and painted from us, which is going to save a huge back-end cost. This airplane currently has a Rotax 912 ULS. This is the smallest engine that we can fit in this Recon right now. We can go up to a 916. That's 160 horsepower of turbocharged power.
Let's talk about power for a second. The base model comes with a 100 horsepower Rotax 912 ULS. That's a carbureted engine with automatic altitude compensation. No mixture control needed. But if you're looking for more punch, you can spec it all the way up to a turbocharged 160 horsepower engine. That kind of flexibility means whether you're a weekend flyer or someone planning serious backcountry adventures, there's a Recon configuration for you. But here's where things get really interesting. Versatility. The Recon weighs in at just 750 to 815 pounds empty, depending on your options. It can carry up to 150 pounds of baggage, and it stalls in the mid-40s with a gentle, predictable brake. Just a slight buffet, and the nose drops 5 to 8 degrees before it keeps flying. No drama, no surprises. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. That's great, Shawn, but I'm still working on my tailwheel endorsement. Well, Silverlight thought of that too. Check out this feature.
For the next kits that we're going to be able to order in, which are going to be available immediately, you can take this from tailwheel to nosewheel. It's really simple. And then when you want to go have fun, rip all that off, pretend it doesn't exist, and make it a tailwheel and fly it around as a tail dragger the way it should be.
Did you catch that? You can switch between tailwheel and tricycle gear configurations. Start with a nose wheel while you're building hours and confidence. Then swap to tailwheel configuration when you're ready to embrace your inner bush pilot. It's like having 2 airplanes in one. But the party trick that really sets Recon apart is these folding wings. We're not talking about a complex multi-person operation here. Craig says a single person can fold or unfold the wings in 10 to 15 minutes, 20 if it's your first time.
Not only folds back, but is easy for one person to do it in 10 to 15 minutes. First time might take you about 20, but you get used to it. Absolutely 10 minutes with one person. That's the big takeaway. So hangars are getting more expensive by the year, and they're also huge backlogs.
Think about what that means for a moment. Hangar waitlists at many airports are measured in years, not months. And when you do find space, you're looking at hundreds of dollars a month. With the Recon, you can buy or rent a small space, park an enclosed trailer, and protect your investment from the elements. Your hangar becomes mobile. You could even trailer the aircraft to different flying areas. Maybe you want to explore the backcountry strips near national parks one weekend. And speaking of different flying styles, the Recon excels, whether you're going low and slow or cruising cross-country. With standard tires and wheel pants, you're looking at cruise speeds around 100 knots. But throw on some bigger bush tires, anything from 21 to 29 inches, and suddenly you've got a capable backcountry machine ready for grass fields and soft surfaces. The visibility is another game changer. We're talking massive windows all around, plus a glass roof panel. Craig told me about demonstrating slow flight at 55 knots and 800 feet, just cruising around and checking out a construction site below, and the view is incredible. Then they flew to a grass strip and made the big slip from downwind to final. And here's the cool part.
You can't lose the side of the runway because we have a glass roof as well. Just look up and the runway is still there.
Now let's talk about what it's like inside. The cabin is 46.5 inches wide at the elbows, thanks to those gull wing doors, and 44 inches at the hips. That's legitimate comfort for 2 people. And here's a thoughtful touch. The Recon comes with 2 throttles, one on each side. If you're transitioning from Cessnas, you can fly left hand, throttle right hand. If you're coming from a Cub background, throttle left, fly right. Small detail, big difference in comfort. The kit itself comes quick build with covered and painted surfaces. That means you're not spending thousands of hours over 2 or 3 years in your garage. You get to the fun part, flying, much sooner. And because it's experimental category, maintenance stays affordable. Craig mentioned that a tailwheel tire runs about $14 for a 2-pack on Amazon. Try finding certified aircraft parts at those prices. If all this has gotten you thinking, yeah, I want to check that out, this might be for me. Here's how you can do it.
Find us on silverlightaviation.com. You can go in there. They'll have an email and a phone. You can always call the phone if you want to do a demo flight with us if you'd like to. Come on out to Zephyr Hills. We'll take you around. We'll go blast around in the skies and show you why the Recon is the most fun airplane in its class.
So here's what I love about the Recon from a big picture perspective. It's approachable. Whether you're a student pilot saving up for your first aircraft or an experienced aviator looking for something versatile and economical, there's a path here. The kit build process gets you involved in your aircraft from the ground up. You'll know every system intimately. The folding wings solve a real-world problem that keeps a lot of people out of aircraft ownership, and the performance envelope means you're not sacrificing capability for convenience. This is exactly the kind of innovation that makes aviation more accessible to our generation. We're not all sitting on piles of cash waiting to drop 6 figures on a certified aircraft and another $1,000 a month on hangar rent. The Recon represents a different approach, one that's creative, practical, and frankly, a whole lot of fun. If you want to learn more about the Silverlight Aviation Recon, head over to silverlightaviation.com. And if you're in Florida, seriously consider taking Craig up on that demo flight offer in Zephyr Hills. Up next on the Future in Flight podcast, we're taking a trip to the doctor. The landing doctor, of course. Let's be honest for a second. We've all been there. You're on final approach. Everything's looking good. You've got this. And then you bounce. Maybe once, maybe twice for having a really special day. Your instructor gives you that look. You know the one.
How long you been waiting to crack out that gem?
But here's the thing. Landing an airplane doesn't have to be this mysterious art form that only the aviation gods have mastered. In fact, there's a guy who's literally made it his mission to help pilots of all levels make buttery smooth landings. And yes, he actually calls himself the landing doctor.
Dr. Lou Mancuso.
I caught up with Lou Mancuso at the Affordable Flying Expo in Lakeland, Florida, and what he told me completely changed how I think about landings. So, Lou's been in aviation for decades, literally 75 years in the business. And about 20 years ago, he noticed something that honestly shocked him.
30 years ago, I was at one of the shows and a little bit bored, and instructors would typically come by the booth. And I asked him, do you do slow flight down the runway? And I was shocked to see it was only maybe 10% of the instructors did that.
10%. That's it. Now, for those of you who might be thinking, wait, what's slow flight down the runway? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're flying the airplane just inches off of the ground, holding that perfect landing attitude, but you're not actually touching down yet. You're teaching your hands and eyes what a good landing looks and feels like. And here's where Lou's method gets really interesting. He doesn't just have students do this once or twice. We're talking 10, 20, even 30 passes down the runway before they actually land.
When they get 6 inches to a foot off the ground, the instructor works the throttle, and when they can hold that for 3,000 feet in a perfect landing attitude, then they get to do it without the instructor's help. And it's almost always on a day with a crosswind.
Wait, did he just say crosswind? Most flight schools save crosswinds for later in training, but Lou's flipping the script. He's teaching people to nail the hardest landings first. It's like learning the parallel park before you learn to go in straight. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the proof. Lou runs the Sebring Flight Academy. And get this, in 8 years of operation, they've never had a single incident, accident, or insurance claim. Not one. In fact, their insurance company was so impressed, they lowered their rates by 18%.
We paid in over $400,000 without a claim, and they're saying thank you by lowering our rates.
When's the last time you heard about an insurance company lowering rates? Yeah, exactly. Like never. Now, you might be wondering, what's the secret sauce here? How does this actually work? It all comes down to something called sight picture. Basically, your brain needs to know what a perfect landing looks like before your hands can execute it. It's like playing guitar. You could read tabs all day long, but until your fingers know where to go without thinking, you're not really playing. The landing doctor method is surprisingly simple. Cover up all your instruments with a towel. Yep, the whole panel. No airspeed indicator, no altimeter. Just you, the airplane, and the runway.
We teach takeoffs and landings with a landing doctor towel covering the entire instrument panel. So they have to take off and land by just sight reference and throttle position.
One of Lou's students told him it was so much fun, they asked to do it again the next lesson. And that's the key. When you learn to feel the airplane instead of flying by the numbers, everything clicks. You develop instincts. You become one with the machine. Okay, that sounded a little too zen, but you get what I mean. The best part? Lou's put all this information online for free. Just go to thelandingdoctor.com and you can learn his complete method. Any instructor can follow the program and teach their students to make those butter smooth landings we all dream about. We'll put the link in the show notes. And I know some of you might be thinking, I'm not even a pilot yet. Why should I care about landing techniques? Well, here's why. Learning to land an airplane teaches you something way bigger than just flying. It teaches you that complex skills can be broken down into simple, repeatable steps. It teaches you that the fundamentals matter more than fancy equipment. And it teaches you that sometimes the old school methods, the ones that have been working for decades, they're still the best. Plus, when you finally do grease that landing after hours of practice, when you touch down so smoothly your instructor has to check if you actually landed, there's no better feeling in the world. So whether you're working on your private pilot's license right now, or you're just dreaming about the day you'll take your first solo flight, remember what the landing doctor's prescription is. Slow down, focus on fundamentals, and don't be afraid to cover up those fancy instruments and just fly. And that's a wrap on our New Year's episode of the Future in Flight podcast. What a year 2026 is shaping up to be. From airlines adapting to new economic realities, to airports becoming more tech-savvy and human-centered, to the MOSAIC rule opening doors for the next generation of pilots, there's so much to be excited about. We talked about innovative aircraft like the Silverlight Recon that's making ownership more accessible, and we learned from the landing doctor that sometimes the simplest techniques produce the best results. The thread connecting all of these stories: innovation, accessibility, and a relentless focus on making aviation better for everyone. Whether you're a student pilot working on your certificate right now, someone dreaming about that first discovery flight, or an aviation enthusiast who just loves this incredible community, this is your moment. The hangar doors are opening wider than they've been in years. Training is more efficient and modern. Aircraft are more capable and affordable. And the opportunities? They're everywhere. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening. It really helps us reach more people who share this passion for flight. And if you've got a few extra seconds, leaving us a review means the world to us. It's how other aviation enthusiasts discover the podcast. Thank you so much for spending part of your new year with us. Here's to an incredible 2026 filled with blue skies, smooth landings, and endless possibilities. Keep dreaming big, keep looking up, and remember, the future of flight starts with you. We'll see you out there and up there.